Hey everyone, I'm here to show you how I make my vintage inspired hats. These are really simple and easy to make, so I hope you guys enjoy it. The materials you'll need are a straw hat, flowers or other decorations, some ribbon, a needle and thread, some scissors, and an iron. Alright, let's get started. So first you want to take your straw hat. I found this at a thrift store for about $3. And take your scissors. Here I'm using my seam ripper. It was just a little bit more convenient for me, but both work just as well. You want to find out how tall you want the top of your hat to be. And then you just start cutting or seam ripping that part of the hat all the way around. But be careful not to cut the actual straw itself. All you want to do is cut the thread that's holding the straw together. You could completely skip this step if you really wanted to, if you already like the shape of your hat. I personally liked the look of those 18th century French straw hats that you see in illustrations, so I wanted to take off a bit of height and make the top a little bit more flat. So now you want to do the exact same thing to the top portion of your hat, making it a little bit shorter so that when you flatten it out with an iron, it will fill the hole that you left in your hat. So then once you finally got it to the correct size that you want it to be, just go ahead and take an iron to it. Now don't be deceived, this took an incredibly long amount of time to get it as flat and perfect as it needed to be. Then grab your needle and thread and start sewing the top back to the hat itself. It's a little difficult to describe what type of stitch I used. Essentially what I did was I went through the bottom part of the hat, went through to the outside, then back inside, going up through the top of the hat, then back inside, then through the back of the bottom again, just so the thread itself would be more visible on the inside of the hat rather than the outside of the hat, just to keep it a little bit neater. I really hope that made sense. Then I went in and trimmed the rope from the inside of the hat and just went around the top portion of the hat and trimmed off any excess straw that might have been poking up, just to make it a little bit cleaner. Now for the fun part, decorating. So I just went ahead and took some ribbon and measured it out to be the size of the hat itself. I sewn it together and decided to make little poofs. I guess that's what you could call them. I'm not entirely sure the terminology of this, but essentially what I did was a small running stitch up the width of the ribbon, and then did another one about an inch or so away, and continued to do the same exact thing for the entirety of the length of the ribbon. Then I decided that wasn't enough ribbon and cut another length of ribbon and just tied a bow at the back of it, and then placed the poofed version of the ribbon on top of that one and stitched them together. I then grabbed the flowers and took them off one by one and decided to play around with the positioning on the hat, figuring out what looked best to me. You could really do a lot here and make it as extravagant or as minimal as you want it to be. Play with different colors, different flowers, different leaves, even add feathers and bows if you'd like. And for this part, you can do it one of two ways. I didn't mention prior in my list of supplies, but if you're lazy like me and you're just very tired at this point from hand stitching, you can just hot glue the flowers to the hat. Now you can stitch them, and I would actually advise to stitch them because then it would be an easier time to take off the decoration, just in case you want to change it up later in the future. But I decided that hot glue was faster and easier, and I knew I wasn't going to change this hat anytime soon. It's primarily going to be decoration anyways, so I decided glue was easier for me. And then the final step, which I forgot to film, is putting the ribbon on the inside of the hat. Now you could either sew that on the inside or you can glue it on the inside. I just decided to glue mine just because my hot glue gun was already hot and ready to go. And there you go. That's how you make this DIY vintage hat. I hope you guys enjoyed it.